Alright, welcome back everybody to Tactics Ogre. We've reached yet another, what do you call that? Uh, this guy.
I am
Servant.
Chanel, goddess of fire.
Hi.
You who would become a true oracle must face a trial. Defeat me and prove your quality before the goddess.
Hooray. So, I mentioned in the last episode that each one of these dungeons seem to have a group of enemies that populate this particular element. In this case, as you can see, a lot of Cyclopses, including the bosses of Cyclops. These guys up here as well. I don't remember what they're called, but there's some. They kind of look like goblins from this point of view, but when you zoom in, they're more like I don't know, ogres or some. I don't know. You can't say ogre because ogre is the title they give to someone who's essentially a demon, or who basically uses power and darkness to try to gain as much power as possible to take over, rule, or whatever you want to call it. Anywho, but they have a name for whatever class they are. In this case, I brought a dragon with me. Mentioned in a previous episode, the dragons are very good defensive tanks. They do a excellent job because they've got a million HP. And they don't take a ton of damage either. However, they are very bad against dragoons. You do have to watch out if you see a dragoon. Make sure they do not have anti-dragon stuff on them. Otherwise, your dragon is pretty much, I wouldn't say dead or on arrival, but you know, you're starting to get to that point. Excuse me. My name is Denim. I'll come from the denim place. Also, see these pits? They make me nervous as fuck. Particularly with denim. Because if denim falls in the pit, it's game over. I gotta start the mission over again, in other words. No, pause the game real quick and rewind the tarot cards, because guess what? Denim is your main character. He cannot die. You cannot let him fall into a pit. Otherwise, it is, like I said, game over. Start from the beginning. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Yeah, she just learned that. Pretty strong, I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoy the fact that Canopus has the ability, he's so well balanced. He's got magic, he's got archery, he's got the ability to wield a one-handed weapon in addition to those other two things I mentioned, whether that be an axe or a certain hammers. Obviously, you could use a dagger, I believe, or a one-handed sword. The one big downside to that is he does not have, because of the nature of those weapons, I don't believe he has a counter. I believe he has a parry, at least on his axe. He's got a parry, but he does not have a counter, which is kind of annoying. You kind of want him to counterattack with like everybody else does, like that, but does not. But if he had a two-handed weapon, he would lose the ability to do one of. Well, he wouldn't lose the ability to cast magic, but he would lose the ability to shoot arrows. Okay, maybe that doesn't make any difference to you. Maybe it does. I don't know. I like having all three because if you want to hit at range and you don't have enough magic, you can go bow. If you want to hit with magic, you can use your MP. You want to get up close and hit, you can do that. He's super well-rounded, plus the ability to move anywhere he wants within his allowable space. That is to say, he can't obviously stop in this pit, but he can fly over the pit instead of having going around it, or you know, he can fly backwards, he can fly forward, he can go up, he can go down. You know, elevation doesn't matter to him. Great. He flies. He's very much a MVP. I have another hawk guy. I don't really use him all that much because I tend to favor the characters that have portraits because they also have better stats than everybody else. However, I'm starting to wonder if it makes more sense to have the right characters with the right element over having the best characters, but not necessarily with the best element. You know, like for instance, in this case, this is a bunch of fire guys, but not all of them are fire, obviously, but a good chunk of them are going to be fire-based. So why not bring someone who's water-based with you? You know, do you take advantage of that type advantage, okay? Well, and that means you have to have essentially, not literally, because, well, you could, I guess, as well, but you would have to have it, you know, whatever class that you wanted to use, you would have to have one of each element. So there's a total of 8 elements, including dark and light. You'd have to have, you know, particularly the first 6 of them, fire and water and ice, earth, air, lightning. You would have to have whatever classes you want to use. You'd have to have one of each, just so you could pick and, you know, choose. You can say, okay, I'm in a fire area. Let me grab all my water guys. So I have, you know, whatever classes I want. Say a mage or sage, healer, some frontline people. Say someone who's like an archer or canopus. And then, fun part, once you put that perfect team together of exactly the same elements that you want to use for that particular mission, then you got to make sure they're all equipped. So options here are either taking the equipment from your set team, and when you're going from one element to the other, you just pick up all that equipment, plop it on the correct guy, move it over here, plop it on the correct guy. Seems like a waste of a lot of time, or you spend a ton of money trying to keep everybody armor and such up to date. Not hard at the beginning of the game, much more difficult as we get towards the end of the game, as things are starting to cost tens of thousands of dollars. You know, for instance, I bought a new sword. Sword cost 14,000. If I wanted to upgrade the sword to its +1 capacity and I didn't have any of the material, it would be like another 10,000. Okay, to upgrade the sword. So that's one character and one sword, and not every character is going to be like that. Not every character is going to need that, but I'm just giving you kind of an example of what I'm saying. You want to take, you know, outfit denim to the, you know, to the nines, perfect set of armor, you know, that might cost you 50, 60K, you know, when you're not making nearly, you know, 2,000-3,000 a battle, you know. And then you're going to do that to how many classes are there? I don't know, like 10 classes or so. Depends if you're talking about unique classes or not. You're gonna have, you know, whatever number, let's say 10 classes. You're gonna have 60 guys between the 6 elements, not counting light and dark. And then you're going to outfit them with all of the best materials. Obviously, you wouldn't do, at least not at first. Then, once they all have the best materials, then you can start making money. But what's the point at that point? Because you've already outfit them with all the best stuff. I don't know. Curious ponderies. So we're getting near the end of this mission. Probably got a couple more minutes at least. I'll try to take out. I've got Kashwa, the dragon, and the white knight to the left here. We're gonna work on this corner section of this monster, and then of course the Cyclops boss. And then you guys over here, I guess you can work on the center, and this guy right here. Get rid of him. Poke. I said poke. Unfortunately, equipped the wrong version of this spear. I've got a couple of the upgraded versions of the spear, which basically instead of hitting 1, it hits 2 and 3. Instead of hitting 1 and 2, it hits a 2 and 3. Skips 1. Which is nice when you're you're standing behind like a front line. You're essentially doing like a phalanx move where you're dropping your lance in front of the front line and poking forward. But yeah. Let's go. Quick, use acid rain. Albini did not like acid rain. He said bad acid rain. Want to see a magic trick? That last one was the most powerful. Except that one right there, do double. I want Vile Wound though, so that the poison will stack on him. We're gonna come over here and throw a boulder at this guy's head. And now he's dead. And no, I did not intend to rhyme there. Give him a poke. Give him a poke. Supernova. That big damage. No, it's not that big. 240 damage is not big damage, unfortunately. It's larger than usual, but it's not like 1,000 damage. 1,000 damage is big damage. Large damage would be like 500. Medium damage would be like 400. Regular damage would be about 200. Small damage would be like 150, and then like tiny damage would be anything less than like 100. At that point, why are you even trying? Honestly, guys. You know? I used to be a YouTuber just like him. Huh. Lol. A lot of people have been YouTubers, and then they get like 1 million subscribers, and then they go bananas. And that's fine and dandy if you made your money off of YouTube and you can basically coast, I won't say the rest of your life, but you can coast in a large, large capacity of your life. But don't lose your brains. Like, seriously. Like, the things that apply to poor people also apply to people who are richer and more famous. You know, if your husband or wife is, or girlfriend or boyfriend is treating you like shit, they don't care how much money that person makes or how, like, I don't want to say that you should, if your wife or girlfriend ever tells you no, you should immediately break up or divorce her. But there's a line between working things through as a couple and becoming stronger, and just letting someone be abusive to you. And it's like, yeah, don't put up with that. Your career will survive that, or maybe it won't. I don't know. I'm not a Hollywood guy. I don't know. Maybe a divorce destroys people. All right, here we go. Get out of my way. $600 damage. 415 damage. Okay. That's 1,400 damage. Magnificent. That was magnificent damage, I agree. Alright, we got the super duper power here. You'll see in just a sec. I'm going to cut the episode. When we come back, likely we're going to be doing some more of these. So, till then, I hope you all have a good one.